Today I'm taking you on a deep dive into the shadowy corners of the horror genre, those overlooked, underrated and under the radar films that deserve so much more love than they've gotten. Hi guys, I hope you're all doing really well. My name is Sarah and welcome to What the Horror, the channel where we talk about horror movies old and new. As the spooky season creeps closer, there's no better time to hunt for that perfect scare, the kind of movie that sends chills down your spine and keeps you up at night. We all know the big names like The Exorcist, Halloween and The Shining, but sometimes the scariest and most intriguing stories are the ones that haven't been in the spotlight. These are the films that have slipped through the cracks, but still pack shocking scares, slow build chills, and unforgettable atmospheres. In this episode, I'm counting down my top 15 hidden gems in horror, movies that, for one reason or another, didn't get the recognition they deserved, but are absolutely must-watches for any true horror aficionado. Whether you're looking for something new to send shivers down your spine, or you're a seasoned horror vet looking to explore the genre's dark and dusty corners, these films will hopefully leave a lasting impression. So grab your popcorn, turn off the lights, and let's dive into some of the best kept secrets in horror. Session 9 is a psychological horror film that has quietly earned a cult following over the years, and for good reason. The story follows an asbestos removal crew tasked with cleaning out an abandoned mental asylum, a location as eerie as it sounds. As the team works through the labyrinth halls and decaying rooms of the asylum, they begin to experience strange and unsettling events that blur the lines between reality and madness. The film's atmosphere is oppressive and tense, building dread with every creaking door and shadowy corridor, all while the characters' own psychological cracks start to widen. What makes Session 9 a must-watch is its masterful use of tension and atmosphere over traditional jump scares. The film is a slow burn focusing on the psychological unraveling of its characters and the haunting presence of the asylum itself. Horror fans who appreciate a creeping sense of unease and psychological depth will find Session 9 to be an unforgettable experience. Door is a lesser-known gem in the world of Japanese horror. What sets Door apart is its intense focus on psychological terror and the invasion of personal space, a theme that resonates deeply with viewers. The film follows Nami, a seemingly ordinary housewife whose life takes a terrifying turn when she becomes the target of a relentless and increasingly disturbing stalker. What begins as a series of unsettling phone calls and unwelcome visits from salesmen soon escalates into a full-blown nightmare. As the tension mounts, Nami's safe and mundane world unravels, leading her to take desperate measures to protect herself and her home. What makes Door a must-watch for horror fans is its disturbing blend of psychological terror and visceral violence. The film expertly builds a sense of dread and paranoia, making you question what you would do if your own home, the one place where you should feel safe, became a prison of fear. The slow, creeping sense of dread builds steadily, culminating in a third act filled with shocking moments of body horror and violence. Horror fans who enjoy suspenseful, character-driven narratives and the creeping sense of unease that classic Japanese horror does so well will find Door to be a haunting and thought-provoking watch. This film is a chilling reminder that sometimes the scariest monsters are not always supernatural. The Changeling is a masterclass in supernatural horror that combines a haunting ghost story with a gripping mystery. The film follows John Russell, a grieving composer who moves into an old, isolated mansion after the tragic loss of his wife and daughter. However, his attempts to find solace in the quiet of his new home are quickly disrupted when he begins to experience disturbing and inexplicable phenomena. As John delves deeper into the history of the mansion, he uncovers a decades-old secret that ties his own grief to the malevolent presence haunting the house. What makes The Changeling a must-watch is its ability to deliver genuine chills through atmosphere and storytelling rather than relying on cheap jump scares. The Changeling is a film that respects its audience's intelligence, offering a complex narrative with emotional depth and a haunting exploration of loss, guilt, and justice from beyond the grave. For horror fans who appreciate a well-crafted ghost story with a strong emotional core, The Changeling is a timeless piece that continues to influence the genre to this day. One Cut of the Dead is a Japanese horror comedy that begins with a seemingly simple premise. A small film crew is shooting a low-budget zombie movie in an abandoned building when they encounter a real zombie outbreak. The film's opening act is a 37-minute continuous shot that captures all the chaos, horror and hilarity of the situation in real time. But just when you think you've seen everything the movie has to offer, it shifts gears and reveals itself to be something far more clever and inventive. What starts as a typical zombie flick quickly transforms into an experience unlike any other. This film is a must-watch for horror fans because it plays with audience expectations and offers a fresh take on the genre. But it's not just about zombies. One Cut of the Dead is a love letter to independent filmmaking, filled with humour, heart and surprises. The film's unique structure and creative storytelling make it stand out, while its blend of horror and comedy is both entertaining and unexpectedly touching. For those looking for something different, it's a joyful reminder that horror can be innovative, unpredictable and deeply satisfying. Burnt Offerings is a slow burn horror film that tells the story of a family who rents a sprawling, eerie mansion for the summer, only to discover that the house has sinister intentions of its own. The Roll family, composed of a husband, wife, son and elderly aunt, initially see the house as an escape from their troubles, but as time goes on, strange events start to unravel the family's peace. The house seems to exert a dark influence, especially over the mother, played chillingly by Karen Black. What makes Burnt Offerings a must-watch for horror fans is its mastery of psychological terror. Rather than relying on jump scares or gore, the film slowly ratchets up the tension, creating an unsettling atmosphere that lingers long after the credits roll. It's a classic haunted house story with a disturbing twist, and its subtle horror will appeal to fans of films like The Haunting or The Shining. The movie offers a chilling exploration of how evil can creep in unnoticed and slowly take control, making it a gem that deserves more attention within the genre. The Ritual follows a group of old college friends who reunite for a hiking trip through the remote forests of Sweden, hoping to honour a lost friend. What starts as a nostalgic bonding experience quickly turns into a nightmare when they stumble upon strange symbols and an abandoned cabin deep in the woods. As they try to find their way out, they realise that something ancient and malevolent is stalking them. The film expertly blends psychological tension with supernatural horror, drawing viewers into its claustrophobic, eerie atmosphere. What makes The Ritual a standout for horror fans is its unsettling atmosphere and its exploration of guilt, grief and survival. The film doesn't just rely on traditional creature horror. It delves into the psychological torment each character endures, making it more than just a simple survival story. Fans of folk horror will appreciate the chilling Norse mythology woven into the plot. It's a modern horror gem that offers both emotional depth and genuine scares. The Orphanage, directed by J.A. Bayona, tells the haunting story of Laura, a woman who returns to the now abandoned orphanage where she grew up, with plans to reopen it as a home for disabled children. As her young son, Simon, starts interacting with invisible friends, eerie events begin to unravel the home's tragic past. When Simon mysteriously disappears, Laura embarks on a desperate search, uncovering long-buried secrets while confronting an unsettling supernatural presence. What sets The Orphanage apart is its emotional depth, combining the tension of a traditional haunted house tale with a poignant exploration of motherhood, loss, and grief. Its heart-wrenching story is filled with suspense and mystery, and the gothic atmosphere envelops viewers in a beautifully crafted narrative. Fans of psychological and supernatural horror will be drawn in by its atmospheric scares, but the film's lasting impact comes from its emotional resonance, offering a haunting yet touching experience that stays with you long after the credits roll. A Field in England, directed by Ben Wheatley, is a surreal, hallucinatory journey set during the English Civil War. The film follows a small group of soldiers who desert their posts and wander through the English countryside, only to be captured by an alchemist named O'Neill. As they search for hidden treasure in a desolate field, their reality begins to unravel, leading to a series of bizarre, nightmarish events. What begins as a tense historical drama soon morphs into a psychedelic exploration of power, madness, and the fragility of the human mind. What makes A Field in England a must-watch for horror fans is its striking blend of historical setting, psychological horror, and mind-bending visuals. The film's black and white cinematography enhances its eerie, otherworldly atmosphere, while Wheatley's bold use of surreal imagery and experimental storytelling creates a deeply unsettling and immersive experience. Tammy and the T-Rex is a quirky, over-the-top sci-fi horror comedy that blends absurd humour with B-movie charm. The story follows Tammy, a high school girl whose boyfriend Michael is attacked by a group of bullies and left for dead. In a bizarre twist, Michael's brain is implanted into a mechanical T-Rex by a mad scientist. Now, as a rampaging dinosaur with a human brain, Michael goes on a wild quest for revenge while trying to reconnect with Tammy, leading to some hilarious and outlandish situations. What makes Tammy and the T-Rex a hidden gem is its campy, self-aware approach to its ridiculous premise. It's a film that doesn't take itself seriously, embracing its low-budget effects and absurd plot in a way that's endlessly entertaining. Fans of So Bad It's Good cinema will appreciate the blend of horror, comedy, and outlandish action. It's a perfect example of a cult classic that offers pure, unfiltered fun, and it's a must-watch for those who enjoy the bizarre and unconventional side of genre films. Spider Baby, directed by Jack Hill, is a darkly comedic horror film that follows the Meyer family, a group of siblings suffering from a rare genetic condition that causes them to regress into childlike psychotic behaviours. Living in isolation, cared for by their loyal chauffeur Bruno, played by Lon Chaney Jr., the family is thrown into chaos when distant relatives arrive to claim the family estate. What follows is a macabre and unsettling clash between the twisted innocence of the Meyer children and the sinister intentions of their unwelcome visitors. While Spider Baby is a product of its time, with some language and views that reflect the era it was made, the film treats the Meyer family with an unusual empathy. They aren't portrayed as the villains or the butt of the joke. Instead, the true antagonists are the outsiders who invade their home and threaten their way of life. The film's influence can be seen in later horror classics like The Texas Chainsaw Massacre and House of a Thousand Corpses, with its themes of a grotesque family hiding in rural isolation and disturbing outsiders who underestimate their danger. Suitable Flesh, directed by Joe Lynch, is a modern reimagining of classic body horror, blending psychological thrills with a deeply unsettling tale of possession and obsession. The film follows Dr. Elizabeth Derby, a psychiatrist whose life spirals out of control after she becomes entangled with a patient suffering from a mysterious and dangerous disorder. What begins as a professional relationship soon transforms into a nightmarish journey into the darkest corners of the human psyche, as Dr. Derby struggles to maintain her own identity while being drawn into a web of lust, madness, and supernatural forces. Horror fans will find Suitable Flesh a must-watch due to its gripping story, visceral horror, and nods to genre legends like H.P. Lovecraft and Stuart Gordon's Reanimator. For fans of mind-bending horror that blurs the lines between the human and the monstrous, Suitable Flesh is a modern gem that continues the tradition of unsettling, intelligent genre films. Triangle, directed by Christopher Smith, is a psychological horror thriller that takes viewers on a mind-bending journey through time and terror. The film follows Jess, a single mother who joins friends on a sailing trip, only for their boat to encounter a mysterious storm. After being stranded, they find an abandoned ocean liner drifting in the middle of the sea. As they board the ship, Jess begins to experience deja vu and soon realizes that something far more sinister is at play. Trapped in a seemingly endless loop of terror, she must unravel the mystery to escape the nightmare that repeats itself. Triangle is a must-watch for horror fans who love intricate, thought-provoking narratives. The film masterfully builds tension and creates an unsettling atmosphere where nothing is as it seems. With its unpredictable storyline and a sense of creeping dread that intensifies with each twist, Triangle is a hidden gem that rewards multiple viewings and delivers a truly haunting experience. The Devil's Backbone, directed by Guillermo del Toro, is a hauntingly beautiful Spanish-language ghost story set against the backdrop of the Spanish Civil War. The film follows Carlos, a young orphan who is sent to a remote and dilapidated orphanage after his father's death. As Carlos settles into his new surroundings, he discovers that the orphanage harbours a dark secret. a ghostly presence that haunts the premises and a series of sinister events that threaten the children's safety. As Carlos seeks to unravel the mystery behind the ghost, he uncovers a tale of betrayal, vengeance, and buried secrets. The Devil's Backbone is a must-watch for horror enthusiasts who appreciate atmospheric and emotionally resonant storytelling. The film combines elements of ghostly suspense with a poignant exploration of the effects of war and trauma on the innocent. With its blend of supernatural horror and historical drama, The Devil's Backbone stands out as a compelling and memorable entry in the genre. Kill List, directed by Ben Wheatley, is a British horror thriller that masterfully blends elements of crime, psychological horror, and occult dread. The film follows Jay, a former soldier who has recently returned from a traumatic stint in the military. Struggling with financial difficulties and a strained marriage, Jay takes on a mysterious hit job with his old friend Gal. What starts as a seemingly straightforward assignment soon spirals into a nightmarish descent into a world of ritualistic violence and dark forces. As Jay delves deeper into the case, he uncovers a horrifying conspiracy that threatens not only his sanity but his very existence. Kill List is a standout for horror fans due to its unsettling atmosphere and genre-blending narrative. The film expertly builds tension and dread, keeping viewers on edge with its unpredictable plot twists and disturbing imagery. The film's ability to weave together crime thriller elements with supernatural terror makes it a unique and compelling entry in the horror genre. Ro, also known as Soul in English, directed by Amir Ezwan, is a haunting Malaysian folk horror set in a remote jungle. The story centers on a mother and her two children who live in a small, isolated hut. Their quiet life is shattered when a mysterious young girl appears at their doorstep, covered in mud and uttering a cryptic prophecy about their impending doom. As eerie and supernatural events begin to unfold, the family finds themselves drawn into a terrifying ordeal that blurs the lines between reality and the spirit world. Ro is a must-watch for horror fans due to its atmospheric storytelling and deep connection to local folklore. The film masterfully blends tension through its use of silence, natural sounds, and minimal dialogue, creating an eerie, slow-burn horror that creeps under your skin. With its lush, haunting visuals and a story that explores themes of guilt, superstition, and the unseen forces that govern human fate, Rose stands out as a chilling and evocative experience. So that is a list of 15 hidden gems in the horror genre. Hopefully this will have contained some inspiration for the spooky season, that perfect watch to provide some scares and chills. Let me know down below which, if any, you'll be checking out, and if you are new here and enjoyed this episode, then please do hit that like button and subscribe button to join the What the Horror family, and so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming spooky season content. And if you would like to join this list of names here and get extra content every single week on top of everything that you get here on this channel, then there is a link to my Patreon page in the description box below. As with this channel, my Patreon page will be full of content to enjoy during the spooky season, the best season of the year. But in the meantime, thank you as always for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you in the next one.